Gaon, coming to you live from Numancia, Aklan, in Western Visayas in the Philippines. Let me just make sure I'm on live. I want to make sure I'm on live here. Looks like it's right there. All right. I'm having my morning cup of tea now. Green tea is my choice of drink now on my coffee with Gino cup here, but it's green tea, green tea. I guess it's more healthier for me, so I'm going for a more healthier drink. Okay, looks like I'm good. Looks like I'm good. Looks like I'm online. And the green tea that I'm drinking is this McCoy teas. I bought a whole box of it, 100 tea bags, and this thing comes from Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka. Really good green tea. I drank a lot of green tea when I was living in Japan. I got the opportunity to live in Japan. My last 4 years in the military, I was stationed at Misawa Air Base in Japan, northern Japan, where it was always snowing. I would say half the year we had snow in northern Japan. And tea, hot tea was always amazing. They even sell it at the vending machine. All the restaurants, of course, had any restaurant you go, they had green tea. But even like in the vending machines, they had green tea, milk tea, all kinds of hot drinks. Hot drinks. And what's neat about the hot drinks in Japan? It's not one of those things where it's a cup and then it pours. It's actually a can. You got to be careful when you hold the can. It's like it's not scalding hot, but it's pretty hot, pretty warm. So they actually heat the can. I never had that experience before, or I've never seen that anywhere else. I've only seen it in the way it works in Japan. But this green tea is pretty good, similar to the ones I've had in when I lived in Japan. I got my Air Force, U.S. Air Force retired hat. Courtesy of Daniel, man. Daniel's so awesome, man. He sent us a Balikbayan box. Daniel actually shipped it. What was funny, I did a video call yesterday when we got the pack with the Balikbayan box. We did a video call with Daniel so he can explain some of the things that he sent us. And what was funny is Daniel actually beat the Balikbayan box in getting here. He got here before the Balikbayan box and he shipped it. What happened was he shipped it October in Florida from Jacksonville, Florida, but it didn't leave It didn't leave Florida till January. I don't know what happened with that. He doesn't know either. But we're just glad the Balikbayan box made it here. I got some Air Force gear. He got me some T-shirt. This is not one of them. This is like an older shirt. You can kind of see it's an older shirt because it's like already like fading. My retired Master Sergeant retired shirt. So now I have a hat to go with my shirts. And he got me like a couple of Air Force shirts. He got me this. He got me all kinds of things, man. They're so cool, man. Daniel's like awesome, and he got me this Leatherman. I guess this is called a Leatherman super tool. Really heavy. You can tell this like tool here is like a heavy duty tool. He got me some paracord. He got me some tactical rope for camping, hiking, backpacking. He got me like flashlights, like the big flashlight, one like the smaller flashlight. It just all got. We did a video of it, so next video probably or soon the video will be coming out. We did the whole filming at the Balikbayan box. He gave us like sunscreen, lip balm, cortisone cream. I mean, just all kinds of. I mean, we were so excited. And he got Leanna. Check this out. He got this for Leanna since he knows Leanna is going to be studying nursing. And Daniel, he was a combat medic in the army, so he knows about anatomy, medical terminology. He's got all these. It looks like posters, and it says this different things about the anatomy of. So we're gonna be studying. I'm gonna be studying with Leanna this summer. He gave us like a medical terminology, like pulled out, different terms in medical terminology. He got Leanne a thesaurus, a big one, a big thesaurus. It's like so awesome, and we were so excited. Dazzle was opening the Balikbayan box and all the gifts, and it was like, man, it felt like it was early Christmas. It felt like early Christmas for us. Bri Capistrano, hey, hello, Bri. Thank you for joining the live stream. Joe Cano, all right, my brother. Thank you, brother Joe. Henry Broussard. I never heard of that either. Yeah, man, there's so many things that I was like, that's why we had to do a video call. Daniel's over in Cebu City now. He's doing his SRRV this coming week, so he's processing his SRRV, his retirement visa. But we had to like do a video call because so Daniel was explaining to us what he sent us. But awesome, man, so awesome. I think the favorite for Dazzle and Liana was Daniel made a box and it says yummy box, and it was candy, it was like chocolates, Toblerone, Jelly Bellies. That was like they really, Dazzle and Liana really loved that. It was just so awesome, We don't get many Balikbayan box, I know my sister in Houston, we're expecting another Balikbayan box from my sister that lives in Houston. She sent us a Balikbayan box. But it's so, the thing about Balikbayan box, when you send a box to a Filipino here in the Philippines, it's just so exciting for the people because for us, we just know how much Daniel knows us. We just know that he watches our videos and he appreciates my communication with him, my helping him to move here. But the gifts were just so thoughtful because he knows what we really like. And, to us, it's such a blessing, that we have people like that now in our lives. That's why I do YouTube, because we do get trolls. There's negativity in YouTube. I'm not gonna deny that. But we get so much blessings from people. We've met so many great people. Joe Cano being one of them. Just amazing people that we meet, and I know that they care for us, and also we care for them. That's why when we finally meet them in person, it's like they're almost like part of our family, because a lot of times I've been talking to these people for many years. I've been doing YouTube now for 4 years, and Brian, this morning, I just had a video call from Brian. He told me, I just finished my taxes, man. I'm on a plane headed your way soon. So I'm finally gonna meet Brian from Galveston County, Texas. That kind of thing. It's like, I'm excited when people come here, when I finally meet the person after talking to them for so many years. Like Brian, I've been talking to Brian for at least 3 years online. So finally, I get to meet the person. So amazing. Jim, I've been to Misawa, but passing through a long time ago. Yeah, Jim, Misawa's, I'm pretty sure when you went there, probably it's, they got two weather, extreme cold or heat during the summer. Not extreme, but cold for most of the part was Misawa, because we get that cold air from Russia. That's why Misawa is always so cold. Good morning, Sir Gino. Hey, Bri, you don't have to call me sir. You don't have to call me sir, man. Gino's good, Bri. Have you tried matcha? Matcha's pretty popular here. I've never had a matcha here in the Philippines, like a hot drink. Most of the time, the matcha that they serve here, they serve it like a matcha smoothie. I've had that. I've tried similar to like a green tea. I don't know if they're the same thing. It's like but similar taste. Are great to, I know, man. Like they're heavy duty, man. I'm holding this Leatherman tool, man. It's like, it's heavy. I'm sure I could do a lot of cool things with this, man. Captain Ron, Christmas came early. Christmas came early, man. Lowell, kumusta? Kumusta from Org? Mabuti ako, kapatid. Mabuti, kapatid. God bless, Lowell. God bless. Delete screenshot, y'all. Delete screenshot. Howdy, Gino and Posse. The Air Force cap looks great. I know, man. I had one before, like a retired Air Force hat, but I've had it for so long. I'd had to wash it because it got dirty over time, and then it just I've had the other hat for like 10 years, so it kind of got really worn down. So now I have a new retired. It says retired United States Air Force hat. So happy about the hat, man. Sometimes the comments jump, so I have to like make sure I don't want to miss anybody's comment. Hey, there's Daniel. There's Daniel. Hey, Daniel. Hey, man, we're in the hat. We're in the hat, man. Thank you so much, Daniel. How did you know the Posse Air Force cap looks great on? It does. Man. I love it. It's gonna be my favorite hat now, Daniel. When I contacted Forex about shipping Balikbayan boxes, they said shipping all depends on how quickly the shipping container is filled. But at Christmas time, you would think there would be lots sending. Yes, for sure, right? Because Daniel, actually, we were talking about there's been an issue. There was a Daniel shared the story. I saw it briefly on Facebook. They actually have an issue with some of the Balikbayan box that they're investigating one of the they're called forwarding companies because I guess they're the ones that move the Balikbayan box. So there's actually a big problem that people aren't getting their Balikbayan box, or the Balikbayan box are just sitting somewhere in a warehouse and not getting delivered. So make sure if you're gonna send a Balikbayan box from the United States, make sure it's a reputable company. Make sure the Forex, whatever, make sure that they're maybe even ask for insurance for your Balikbayan box, because there has been an issue regarding Balikbayan boxes getting here to the Philippines and not being delivered. I don't know who that is. Chena? I don't know who that person is. Provas said hi. Hey, Provas. Belus, good morning. My brother in Leyte. I just finished watching James the video. It was the one where you guys had one guy was carrying to pump the water, like the generator over his shoulder, right? And then you guys got the water going to water the vanilla. So just finished watching that. I just finished watching that before I started the live stream. Blue sky, yeah, blue sky is here, man. I already did a little bit of walking, not as long because I wanted to get going on the live stream this morning, but I'll walk again later for sure. When I walk Totoy, and then maybe at sunset later I'll walk again. That's an awesome box. Yeah, man, the Balikbayan box. I filmed it. You'll see. I'll edit the video and it'll come out. It'll come out soon. Just amazing item. I mean, to me, what really touched me about the Balikbayan box is you can tell that Daniel put some thought in it. It's not just like throwing something in a box. And he even labeled it. He had little comments. Like this yellow shirts are for when Gino rides Bumblebee. A matching shirt with Bumblebee. So to me, just the thoughtfulness. Really appreciated, Daniel. Hey, Daniel, you're the bomb. Nice gift, the Dazzle TV pet. Yeah, very. I mean, it's like amazing gift to us. Same like you, Google. All right, I'll Google it when I get a chance. I mean, I can Google it real quick here. See if who that Karan. Sometimes I don't want to mention the name because sometimes people troll me and then. Yeah, I mean, I can see similarities. It's looks like his same. Hey, Lowell, I hope you are having a good day. Howdy, Belus, the vanilla guy. Yeah, the vanilla. The cowboy vanilla farmer in Leyte. One small correction. I was combat lifesaver. from combat. All right, combat lifesaver. All right, I'll use that word now. And combat medics. Like that's the term I often hear. But combat lifesaver, I like that. Actually, I like that term better. Combat lifesaver. Hello, Master Sergeant Gino and the posse from JP Calibo. Hello, JP. Glad you made the live stream. Thank you, JP. Lowell, morning, Joe. I am doing okay. God bless. God bless. Morning, Belus. Brian, hey, Brian. Soon to be here. Brian's like, I think today is like 42 or 41 days in a wake up for Brian. And he'll be in Iloilo City. Brian's going to be in Iloilo City. JP Calibo, hello Lowell, Daniel, Brian, Joe Belus, and Captain Ron. Hey, yo, Tim. Yo, Tim. My brother in Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. How are you? I'm doing good, brother. Starting my day out here. Mom's right here putting her makeup on. Mom's headed to Katiklan. She's got business to take care of in Katiklan. Sunny day, man. It's like already nice and sunny. 74, about 74 degrees. Let me do the weather real quick. It's about 74 degrees. No rain at all the past few days. Today is Holy Week, of course. Holy Tuesday today. In our plaza area, you see a lot of procession. Those procession where they have saints and they push the cart on the saints. People walking. Palm Sunday, they did the palaspas, the palm leaves. Just a whole week this week until Easter Sunday. Nothing but religious activities here in our town in Numancia and in Calibo. Less people on the road. It's like the only people that I saw a lot, but because Leanna had the awarding ceremony yesterday, she got her medal. Officially, school is out for her. That was her last activity. The Department of Education, if you're an honor student, you get a medal from them. So Leanna got her medal yesterday. What else? But as far as weather in the Philippines, it says here from Pag-asa, our weather channel, our government weather channel here in the Philippines, it says Metro Manila and the rest of the country, partly cloudy to cloudy skies, isolated rain showers. So different parts of the Philippines, you might see some rain, but it's not long-lasting rain. It's just enough to cool things off because it is getting hot. During the day, we're hitting the 90 degrees Fahrenheit temperatures already. But the weather's been beautiful. I even, I'm looking at my Facebook, pictures of Boracay. Less people in Boracay. Usually, heavy people in Boracay. Usually, Holy Week is very busy in Boracay, but not this time. A lot of people are playing it safe, like me, playing it safe, not traveling. Gas prices, they're supposed to rise again today. I saw a post yesterday. So they're already hitting triple digits, over 100 pesos per liter for gasoline here. So we'll just have to see. That's why I don't want to do any traveling in our car because gas is just so expensive. There's enough for us to do around here. We'll do karaoke. We'll go to the beach. We're 10 minutes from the Navitas beach. There's enough for us. Our town plaza, we can go there at sunset. Mom, Dad, and Leanna, they can eat balut. Not me. I'm not eating balut. I'm not eating balut. Yeah, and pugo. I'll eat the pugo. Pugo is like quail eggs. It's really like it's almost like a hard-boiled egg but smaller. Like the quail eggs. That I can eat that. That's just eating like a hard-boiled egg. Not. Hello to JP and the rest of the crew from Brian. All right. Captain Ron, Belus, JP from Daniel. Morning, JP. God bless. Ayo. Hello, JP. Brian, love. I always bring back Leathermans for gifts. Massive favorite. I can see, man. There's so many. I can see. I was looking at the thing. So many uses for it, right? So many uses for the Leatherman. Thank you. And every time I use it, I remember, hey, this is a gift from Daniel. It's just so awesome. Derek, aloha, Derek from Hawaii. I'm 2 weeks away. All right, Derek. Derek is headed to Leyte and is gonna spend a few months in Leyte. Maybe you'll meet Balus. Maybe you'll meet Balus. Derek would like to see a video on how a Filipino mechanic makes a Honda part. I know, man. Captain Ron had messaged me yesterday. I was replied to his chat. He goes, I've never seen a video on a mechanic here. I know I can give an example, Captain Ron, because my first vehicle here, I was here in the Philippines for like 3 years before I even purchased a vehicle. And my first vehicle that I bought here was a used four-door Honda Accord, an older Honda Accord. I've only paid like $2,500 for the vehicle. But the thing, and I call it a mistake on my part. When I bought the Honda Accord, I didn't, I wasn't even thinking. I was just excited. I said, oh, wow, it's a nice car. I said, and then it was only $2,500. I said, I can afford that. I paid cash for it. But I wasn't thinking at the time, we don't have a Honda dealership here in Calibo or in Aklan province. And even now, there's not a Honda car dealership. Plenty of Honda motorcycle dealerships, right? But not a Honda, So when I started having problem with my Honda, and the main issue I had with the Honda was the air conditioning. So I had to find a mechanic. And here in the province, it's there's not like in the US, like you're like a certified Honda mechanic, certified Toyota mechanic. Here, the only place I can find a certified Toyota mechanic would be at the Toyota dealership. That's why now I have a Toyota Wigo. We bought it brand new. There's a Toyota dealership, so I only take my vehicle for them to fix it there. But finding a mechanic, like a good mechanic in Calibo, I cannot recommend anybody because I never could find one, man. The guy, I took my car to the guy, and he was they just put whatever parts they can find. Like I was saying, like for my they'll try to make it fit. Like I said to you on my message to you, they MacGyver it. My air conditioner would work, and they didn't have the Honda parts for the air conditioning, but they had Toyota parts. So somehow, some way, he MacGyvered it for it to work. It worked for a little bit. It worked for like a couple of months, and then it broke, because, when you MacGyver something, a lot of times, it doesn't last long, right? It's enough to like ride it, for a few weeks or months, and then all of a sudden it'll break again. So I just kept having problem. That's why, after that, the lesson learned for me was not to buy any used car, not to, we saved our money. We were riding Bumblebee for the longest time, our tricycle. And then in 2018 is when we purchased our brand new Toyota Wigo. No issues with the Wigo. Great car. Ever since we've had it. 8 years now. Not a single engine problem. Everything works on it. It's an awesome vehicle. But that's the problem you're going to run into. Especially if you're going to buy like a Ford or a Chevy or something that they just do not have the mechanics here. We only, in Aklan province, in our province, we only have a Nissan dealership, a Toyota dealership, and a Suzuki car dealership. So any other car, if you buy a used car here, you might have issues finding somebody like a licensed, certified mechanic. It's usually like the mechanics here is like, ooh, I have an uncle. I have, that, and a lot of times the mechanics, you might find a good mechanics, but it would be for older vehicles, carburetors, back in the day, manual, not the new vehicles now all got computers and all that. So, some uncle or somebody off the street, I don't know how they would know how to fix like issues with computers in vehicles. Belus, Atlas is a great box shipper. So, all right, Atlas. So, Forex, Atlas. Belus. Belus knows because he's always shipping. You know, when he's in Wyoming, I'm sure Belus is always shipping a ton of stuff to the Philippines. Good morning, brother Gino, Jeffrey. Thank you, Jeffrey. Good morning, Brian, Derek. Where are you moving to? I will be in Iloilo. Derek, he's from Hawaii, but he's not moving here. He's just vacationing for a few months. He splits his time between Hawaii and the Philippines. Captain Ron, Daniel, how is it in the Philippines? Been to any waterfalls yet? Unfortunately, I don't think Dan, he's only been here since middle of March. And the first week he had gotten sick. And that is common. That is actually very common. When you travel to the Philippines, it's easy to catch those bugs, those congestion, cough, sore throat. A lot of times, you're not well rested, right? You're flying from America, and Daniel had gone to Japan for 2 weeks. You're flying in an enclosed airplane and all that. You're not getting your normal sleep, so your immune system has a tendency of becoming lower when you come here. And then of course, you're not used to all the viruses and the bugs that are here in the Philippines. You haven't, and your body's probably what the heck's going on, what are all this stuff. Very common from people, like when they come here the first week they're here, they're getting some kind of cold, sometimes worse, they get like stomach issues. So maybe bring medicine, that you're familiar with, your Pepto-Bismol, antacid, things like that, because they're harder to find. When you come here to the Philippines. But I'll make sure that when Daniel will be here October 8th, when I pick him up in the airport, we will stop at the waterfalls. Just so you can say, Daniel, hey, we'll make a pit stop at Hawili Falls. So at least you can say, hey, I've been to a waterfalls in the Philippines. Michael C. Hey, my brother in Trece Martires in Cavite. Good morning, bro. Shucks, I wish someone would send me a Balikbayan box. I don't think they can send a Balikbayan box from the Philippines. That question always gets asked here, man. Like, can I send a Balikbayan box from the Philippines to the U.S.? I've never gotten a reply. And then I'm sure it would cost more to ship from the Philippines. Balikbayan, really, the box is really amazing because they know, the Philippine government knows that a lot of OFW, usually overseas Filipino workers, work hard overseas, and they save stuff on the Balikbayan box to send to their family. So a lot of times the customs people here in the Philippines, they're not very strict on the Balikbayan box because the government here, the president here, they know how valuable that is. How it brings so much joy to the Filipino families here in the Philippines when they get a Balikbayan box from all over the world from their OFW, overseas Filipino workers. 31 days. All right, 31 days. All right, Brian. Dang, that's going fast, Brian. Man, you're doing a great job when people care enough to be haters. Yeah, it I know, Daniel. And that's part of the topic today. I have come up with the topic because I got this comment. It just gave me an idea to make our topic for today. I'm 16 days and awake. Oh, 16 days and a wake up for Derek, man. That's awesome. How's it going, bro? Good. Emilio from Oceanside, California. San Diego area. We are getting our Balikbayan boxes ready for the flight. 50-pound limit. Oh, good to know. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Derek. You can fly to the Philippines with your Balikbayan box like Derek's doing. 50 pounds, 50-pound limit. Thank you for sharing that, Derek. JP, have you gone to any cool places with Eden? Oh yeah, JP went to Boracay Island, and he's already been to Boracay Island, and I'm sure he's gone to like amazing places in Eden has been spending most of her time with her family lately. Daniel, tell Leanna I have a, oh, wow, 1,000 peso for her. And oh, thank you, Daniel. I will. She's gonna be waking up late today because last night I woke up around midnight. I always, to go to the bathroom, drink water because I get dehydrated. I have to make sure I'm drinking fluids, and it was past midnight already. She was down here still doing the pencil, the colored pencil, drawing in here because it's vacation time for her. So she no longer has curfew. We're gonna let her enjoy her 2-month vacation. Once I get there on the 8th, no worries, no worries. I will let her know. Thank you so much, Daniel. Can't wait, brother. We're so excited to pick you up at the airport, and we're gonna have fun when you stay here in Aklan province. We're gonna show you around for sure while you're here. Take you to the waterfalls, take you to the beach, take you to the Olas Fish Farm. We'll eat seafood at New Washington, fresh oysters. We'll do everything. If you want to go to Rojas City, we'll do it. We'll visit the Canadian Beaver. We'll do fun things, Daniel. Southern Leyte for Derek. Philippine can make just about anything. Pretty amazing. I know, right, Belusia? They're good at, I know one thing they're good at here is they repair everything. It's like when I lived in the U.S., I'm sure people in the U.S. that live in farms, they can repair a lot of things. But most of the time when I lived in the U.S., I lived in cities. And in the cities, when things break, you just buy a new one. It's like it's hard to find, a person that can fix an electric fan or fix any electronic like that. But here, man, they can fix anything here. Over in Calibo, there's like the shopping area. There's like an electronic place there where pretty much anything electronic, anything old TVs, old radios, they'll do the soldering. They'll fix it. They know how to repair things here. Pretty amazing what they can fix here. Heck, they fix your shoes there. It's like like I had a pair of good running shoes, and at the bottom, the glue had come off, and what they did with my shoe is they sewed it. They hand sewed my shoe instead of just gluing it back. They hand sewed it, and the shoe became even better than before. Good morning, Colonel, and all our friends. Mom's getting ready. She's got her backpack. Mom's getting ready to leave to go to Katiklan. Safe travels, Mom. Safe travels. Hello, Colonel from JP Calibo. Right, morning, Colonel. Morning, Colonel from Lowell. Vaughn. Hey, hello, everyone. Hello, Panay Pasi. What's the dollar? Oh, man, the dollar exchange rate, Vaughn, is an all-time record. It closed yesterday at 60.69. An all-time record again. That's the all-time record for closing for the US dollar. Sir Colonel Daniel from Vaughan. Hello. We did a video call, Juan, with Daniel yesterday because we got the Balikbayan box that Daniel sent us. So Daniel was explaining to us what all the items and some, he got Dazzle a ton, like baking pans, measurement for the baking. So Dazzle's excited. She's gonna cook banana bread. Banana bread is like. Howdy, about 60.70. I know, 60 point. It closed at 60.69 yesterday. JP Calibo, hey, Colonel, salute, Colonel. So no Tesla dealership there. Tesla. I don't know if there is. If there is, maybe in Manila. Manila would be. I have seen a Tesla. I don't know how it got here to the Philippines. I don't know if it's an imitation. I don't know. But on Facebook, I've not seen it live. I've not seen a Tesla live here, even in Iloilo City. But I have seen many that BYD. I've already seen a bunch of those in Iloilo City because they have a dealership. in Iloilo City, and a couple in Calibo. Actually, I've seen maybe three of those BYD electric cars. I think from China. I think BYD's from China. Thanks, Daniel from Bonn. Bon, I would highly advise that you bring some pink sauce and cold mitts. Yes, right? Good. And that's why I mentioned it, right? It's easy to catch a cold, stomach issues when you land here in the Philippines initially. That it happens to most people. It happened to me when I landed in Boracay in 2011. The first 2 weeks, I didn't have a cold, but I had like stomach cramps. I actually had to see a doctor, and the doctor actually gave me antibiotics for 14 days I was cramping on my stomach. I've never had that situation before. I was like, ooh, and I was super careful. I was always drinking from bottled water, careful not to put ice on my stuff. But, no matter what you do, it seems like just because new environment, new things here that your body's hasn't been exposed to. JP Calibo, I found my cold medicines at the pharmacy here. Okay, I made a list of my favorite medicines and went and asked for them by generic names. Yeah, a lot of your all right, mom. Yep. Safe travels. Be careful. All right. See you later. See you later. A lot of I've seen Motrin, but Motrin most of the time you'll get at SNR. But here it's just generic ibuprofen. You can get ibuprofen at the local pharmacies, at Mercury Drug. You might not get the brands that you're used to in the US, like the things that you buy at CVS or Walgreens, but they would have similar generic versions here. But to me, better to bring like your own that your body's already used to. And the one thing you got, unfortunately here in the Philippines, they have fake medicine here. They actually have, that's why if I'm buying medicine here in the Philippines, I'm buying it from Mercury Drug. A lot of the small, unfortunately, the mom and pop pharmacies, you want to support the mom and pop businesses, right? But unfortunately, China makes all these fake medicine even, so antibiotics, even fake antibiotics, you see them getting raided, like the customs people here will raid the whole truckload of fake antibiotics, to me, that's just terrible. It's like, man, why would you even create those? That's like evil almost that you're creating fake medicine. LOL, now I have my second run of sorry to hear that. Forgot your pink sauce. Oh, sorry to hear that, Daniel. Oh, dang. Hang in there. Definitely hang in there. Hang in there, Daniel. I'm sending 4 Balikbayan box to myself before I fly there. Good idea, Brian. Like things that you you will use here in the Philippines. The word gave us forgotten son, that whoever believed in man shall not perish, but the eternal life. Amen. Amen there. Decisive Dev. My wife, she grew in the farming family in southern Leyte. She went to Olongapo City in the 80s where we met. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I was actually talking to June. He's in San Diego. He was born in Olongapo City, but's been in the U.S. now for over 30 years, and he's thinking of moving back here to the Philippines. I just started talking to him like a couple of weeks ago, getting to really know him. And we were talking about Olongapo City, Barrio Barreto. I'm familiar with the area because when I was stationed at Clark, we would go. I made at least a dozen trips to Subic. Even Grande Island in Subic, Barrio Barreto. Back then, Subic was really known for the rock bands, Filipino rock bands that would sing rock music, 70s, early 80s rock type music, and really great bands in Olongapo City. That's why people from Clark and Angelo City, we would go to Olongapo City on the weekends. The more you bring, the harder it will be to move. My mentor said a few times. That's the thing. That's the thing. For me, my objective was like to get, be mobile, be compact. Because, the thing that you're going to experience, if you send a lot of balikbayan box to you, just, everybody's different. For me, I wanted to be mobile. I wanted to make sure I only had one suitcase, one backpack, and I had my laptop bag because I wasn't sure where I was going to end up in the Philippines. My idea was I was going to stay in Boracay for 6 months and then try Baguio City after 6 months, and then until I find my spot here in the Philippines, because I really didn't have any place where I was going to move where I have relatives. That wasn't my thing when I was moving to the Philippines. My thing was like finding the spot for me where I would have fun, that I would enjoy. It's like when I moved to Boracay Island here in Aklan province in 2011, I did not know a single person here. The only person I knew was my landlord, and I haven't even met my landlord. I just was at the time, I think I found her email address or something online, and we were communicating by Yahoo Mail, And then when I landed in Boracay, I was just so happy that she existed, because back then in 2011, I wasn't even sure. Okay, I hope this is not a scammer. I hope she is real, And sure enough, she was real, and she had an apartment ready for me. But to me, it's just easier the less stuff you have that way if you have to move. Because the minute you start buying things here and the minute you start getting balikbayan boxes, if you have to move, it's going to cost you money. It's going to be harder to move. Like, let's say you land in Iloilo City after 6 months, and you go, man, the city's kind of hard. It's like it's too noisy, or it's too crowded. I want more provincial. I want to go to like quieter area. Now you got you sent yourself a bunch of balikbayan boxes. It's gonna be harder to move. They don't. There are moving companies here, but not the same. Not the same in the U.S. where they box all your stuff, they ship. And I'm sure if they do have one, it will cost you a lot of money. A lot of people here end up, when they move, a lot of times they use their vehicle, or if they don't have a car, they'll rent a vehicle, or they'll rent a jeepney, a long jeepney, put all your stuff in there. The minute you start buying a refrigerator, a washing machine, the minute you start buying that kind of stuff here, it's going to be harder for you to move. It's like you're going to be discouraged to move if things don't work out. A lot of times what I've seen here, people meet a Filipina in one area. Like, let's say you go to Calibo, you meet a Filipina, and the relationship don't work out. It's kind of awkward sometimes. So you want to move somewhere else, because you don't want to run into the Filipina that the relationship didn't work out, so it's harder to move. It's harder to move. So something to think about. To me, I always liked being able to be mobile, being like, I can just pick up any, like now, if Dazzle and I decide to move, I can move, I can put all my stuff in a suitcase and a backpack, and I go, let's go, babe, let's go move. It's not a problem. Belus, like and sub. Thank you, Belus. Thank you thank you for the kind words. Number one Philippine morning show. Extra. Thank you, Belus. So kind. Thank you so much, brother. Good morning, ma'am. Let's go, let's grow. Hit the like. All right, thank you, Daniel. My name is Ellie. Check Mauristania. I used to collect stamps when I was younger, when I was a kid here in the Philippines. Mauritius, I know there's a country, Mauritius, so maybe that's where you're from. I still remember a lot of the places in the world because of my stamp collecting. Ellen, my brother in Texas. Howdy, Gino. Now is a good time to send money to the PH to build up bank account for a new house built, for sure. Man, with the all-time exchange rate at 60.69, man. It puts a smile on your face every time you change your dollars into pesos here. Phil McLeod. Oh, retract. All right, retract. Vaughn, my wife asked if you've been to Guimaras. Daniel gave us a small pelican case. Oh, Pelican Case, Pelican. No, I haven't. Surprisingly, I haven't been to Guimaras Island, but I want to. Maybe the next trip to Iloilo City, because it's only a 15-minute ferry ride to Guimaras, and I'm timing it to where, well, hopefully they have the Mango Festival. A lot of times when we go to Iloilo City, it's hard for me to get Dazzle away from SM Mall. She loves SM Mall. If we spend a few days in Iloilo City, and I let her because we don't have SM Mall here. So when we're in Iloilo City, I understand why Dazzle enjoys it so much. Me, I'm not big on, even traveling here in the Philippines, like now, other beaches, like beaches in Guimaras. For me, it's like, it's hard to find a better beach here in the Philippines than White Beach, Boracay. I'm spoiled. I'm spoiled that way. It's like a lot of times when I see other beaches here in the Philippines, I'm just like kind of disappointed because White Beach in Boracay is just so awesome that other beaches, it kind of, everything else is like, no, Boracay is like a 9, and then all the other beaches here just seems like a 5, like a mid 5. Tesla in BGC showroom, you can order. All right, see, that was I was thinking. Tesla, in Manila, pretty much. I think the entire United States, whatever products in the United States are in Manila. If you want your Texas Roadhouse, your Olive Garden, all that is in Manila, in the BGC area. So I'm not surprised that they have a Tesla dealership in BGC. Tap the thumbs. Hey, thank you, Colonel. Appreciate you, my brother. Dangerous. Do you sell full-size trucks in the Philippines? I'm not versed on what full-size trucks, but they do have like Ford Rangers, Ford F-150, Raptors. They got Ford, Nissan trucks are popular here. Toyota trucks, of course, probably the number one selling truck here in the Philippines. But yeah, lots of trucks. I don't know, I've never had a truck, so I don't know what you mean by full-size trucks, but I've seen big trucks in my neighborhood. I have neighbors here with like Ford Ranger, Ford F-150, I see that here. And many ex-military, for ex-military that's watching, if you're ex-military, if you have Navy, Federal Credit Union, you bank with Navy Federal Credit Union, you can buy a new vehicle here in the Philippines with your credit union loan from the United States. Many take advantage of that because the interest rates here for if you loan a vehicle here, they're astronomical here in the Philippines. I don't recommend. That's why for us, we saved our money and paid cash for our vehicle. We paid like $11,000 for our Toyota Wigo at the time, 2019 Toyota Wigo. But if you're military and you bank with Navy Federal, you can get a loan in the United States and buy a brand new vehicle here in the Philippines. Many of my military friends have done that here. My name is Ellie. All right, Ellie. Will do, Daniel. Merle Winkle. Safe travel to Katiglan, ma'am. Ingat po kayo. Salamat. Thank you very much. Daniel, the Imodium, Imodium works. Imodium loperamide works within hours for me. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Colonel, for the super chat. $20. Oh, thank you. You're amazing. Thank you so much, Colonel. I appreciate that, my brother. JP, Loperamide. See, JP, people know. People that come here, they know like what works here. We'll save your butt. That's funny, JP. No pun intended. Got some PH meds while I was sick, and they seem weaker. The last one got discovered. They gave me meds for children. You know what, Daniel? That's okay. That for me, I remember, Daniel, when I first finished my cancer. I had like, radiation on my neck. I had a hard time swallowing any pill. So I ended up, whatever, like when I got a cold, I was buying children's medicine, because it's syrup, and I just measured it to get the adult dosage, and seemed to work for me, even the children medicine, because I had a hard time for the longest time swallowing any type of pills. So I was drinking a lot of like children's liquid medicine here, over the counter medicine. I plan on using TGP Pharmacy. I've seen that. I haven't bought anything from TGP, but they're a franchise. I've seen it everywhere in the Philippines. So you should be okay. You should be okay with that, Lowell. At least they're a franchise. It's the mom and pop, the no name. You got other like I know. TGP's one generic. There's a generics brand. Franchise, the mom and pop shops are the ones that I would be careful regarding fake medicine, because that you always see here in the Philippines when they raid people selling fake medicine here. Lowell, very nice of you, Colonel from Lowell. Hello, Lowell. Just watched a vlog about SNR and saw they have Vicks. Yeah, they have. I've seen Vicks cold medicine, and I've also seen like the NyQuil, all that NyQuil stuff at SNR. It costs 2,000. Yeah, that's unfortunate. It's a big containers though. Usually several pieces, but SNR, you're gonna pay extra money there because it's imported from America. The shipping costs, a lot of things, a lot of items at SNR will be a little higher than what you pay at Costco in the United States. How's your day going, Colonel from Lowell? Colonel, nice job. Daniel, I have seen several YouTube videos, and it seems the Vicks in the Philippines. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it, JP. I'm the same way. Vicks is my healer for everything. Dazzle rubs Vicks on my neck, on my back, on my chest. I'm a believer of Vicks. I'm a believer of Vicks. The Vicks Vapor Rub. The rock band Journey discovered, Arnel Pineda in the Philippines. Yeah. Derek. The Colonel, Daniel, all right. Merle Will. Arnel Pineda used to be in the band named Amo, all right. Amo is like Amo, like the boss. The boss, like Amo. They performed in California Jam, Magsaysay Drive in Olongapo City. We used to have a club there named Jade East. Yeah, I know, man. I've been to those bars in Olongapo City back in the late 80s. Amazing rock bands, man. Live rock bands, That's why we would go. That's why a lot of Air Force people would go to Subic just for that, just to experience the live bands that they had there. Juan, thank you so much, Juan, for the super chat. Expat News, EING know them. All right, thank you so much, Juan. Appreciate it, my brother. The Colonel, I told the girl at Starbucks my name was Arnel, and she looked at me and said, "What? Don't look like Arnel." That's funny, Colonel. That's hilarious. You're always having a good time, man. Colonel's got a great sense of humor. Vaughn, Captain, who's your mentor, JP? JP always tells me I'm his mentor. JP always asks me different questions, even throughout the day. Even yesterday, I always get messages from people that I help move here. Edgar, JP, Ruben. I'm always in constant communication with people I help move here because for me, I have interest in making sure they're happy here, making sure they are successful, avoid being scammed here in the Philippines. It's like I do my best. Try to help them in their transition here. Lowell, I'm doing about the same. Let me see here. Alan, even though I live in Texas, my wife and I only eaten at the Texas Roadhouse. That's funny. You live in Texas, and the last time I've eaten at Texas Roadhouse was in Tucson, Arizona. I have not been to a Texas Roadhouse here because they're supposed to build one in Iloilo City. There's a sign on it right below where the Vikings buffet is, but it hasn't opened. You know, there's a sign there opening soon, but that sign's been there for like a year or two already. Interest rate is high anything. If you buy like a motorbike here on credit, if you buy a car here on credit, you're gonna get hammered, man. It's almost like by the time you pay off your loan, if you buy a motorcycle on credit here in the Philippines, you would have bought two motorcycles, the price of two motorcycle. You know, it's like that's why I mentioned, if you have a Navy Federal Credit Union in the United States and you're thinking of purchasing a new car here on credit, do it with the Navy Federal. You're not gonna get a better interest rate. The interest rates here, they're horrible here. Good morning, brother, from Eastwood City, Quezon City. All right. Michael, you're already, wow. Michael Manila says, because I always say, hey, Michael in Northern California. Now you're in Eastwood City. All right. Welcome to the Philippines, brother. Agree with your tip. Thank you, Rance. Thank you. Imodium prevents seasickness or travel dizziness. It is already Holy Week. Yes, Holy Week. I just don't see the same amount of traveling going on because even in Boracay Island, like I mentioned, usually Holy Week in Boracay is like crazy. People going into Boracay, spending the whole week. I do not see the same crowd. I would say at least 25% less, or maybe even 40% less, because the picture that I see at sunset, normally that whole beach is like just, like thousands of people on the beach. And my friend, he does a YouTube channel. I just don't see the same numbers in Boracay, and I'm sure it's the same because people, traveling in airplanes, traveling in your vehicle, it just got more expensive here with the price of gasoline. Texas Roadhouse, Philip version, right? Lone Star, yep. Yeah, one of these days, I hope, hopefully they open the one in Iloilo City. Hopefully they open a Texas Roadhouse there. That way I can eat again. That way I can at least take Dazzle to a Texas Roadhouse. Rents, TGP Generica. Yep, TGP Generica. Those are like pharmacies, franchise pharmacies here that might cost you less cost than Mercury Drug. But me, I always just go to Mercury Drug because one thing I like about Mercury Drug, when I go there, everything's available. When I go to Watson, like sometimes I'll go to Watson. I don't think I've been to TGP but when I go to Watson, it's always like not available. It's like I guess I'm used to. I get a discount anyway with my person with disability card. I get like a 20% discount on any medicine. So when I go to Mercury Drug, I get a discount anyway. So I figure, hey, But every time I go to Mercury Drug, they have all the medicine that I need. Brian, thanks for the info about financing a vehicle with Federal Credit Union. I also have USAA, all right, and 2 other banks just in case. Yes, it will save you a ton of money, Brian, if you get the loan from Navy Federal. Because very expensive, very high interest rates here in the Philippines. Captain Ron, Gino is my mentor, whether he likes it or not. No, I like it. I like it, JP, man. You know I'm there for you, brother. Anything you need here. His advice is always spot on and makes great life choices to back it up. I have just seen a lot. I've talked to many expats. I've been doing this for 4 years. I always get the feel from, when they come here, I ask questions. So I've seen enough to where, it's almost repeating a lot of like when people get into a situation here, I always can point out, well, I can always go back to my brain and this is what happened before with my other friend, you know. So at least I can advise. I mean, people will still do, you know, well, however they want to do it. It's still the person's life, but I can always just like give like a recommendation or advice. You don't have to take my advice. And that's the least. That's my only downfall. I have sinus infection 4 out of the 12 months here in Leyte, but it's always wet and humid, 80 to 100%. But that's why vanilla tried. Yeah. Luckily for me, at one time of my life, Belus, when I lived in Arizona, I had like allergies, sinus allergies. Luckily for me, here in Aklan province, I've not had the need. You know, I used to take Claritin. You know, I've never had a need for that here. So thank goodness, because allergies are not fun. You know, sinus infection, all that, that's not fun. Mercury Drug Store and Watson. Yeah. For me, those are the two places that I go, Mercury Drug. But more often, I just go straight to Mercury Drug. There's a lot more people there, unfortunately, longer lines. I try to sometimes go to Watson because less people in there. But a lot of times, I go to Watson, I stand in a little bit of line, and then they go not available. So pretty much now, I just go to straight to Mercury Drug because they carry the most inventory here as far as prescription medicine. Vicks, I know, man. I'm a believer of Vicks. I never run out of Vicks. We always buy, and they're not cheap, man. Vicks here, like a tiny container of Vicks is like 300 plus pesos. You know, over $5 for a tiny Vicks. I don't know. I'm not looking at it. What the heck do they put in this? How come it's so expensive? Brand like Katinko. Yeah, I've had. We've tried Katinko, but I still go back to Vicks. Texas Roadhouse, Cebu City, awesome. Yeah, maybe the next trip to Cebu City, I'm gonna hit that Texas Roadhouse, Belus. Awesome, but you pay for it. I'm sure you pay for it. Western prices, kind of. Yeah, I'm sure. Dazzle, she's never eaten a steak. Dazzle's never eaten it because I gave up on steaks. It's been like over 10 years now since the last time I ate steak. 2016 was the last time I ate steak. I just gave it up just because it's so expensive here, and I haven't really seen like good quality. Even the Australian beef, Australian steak, sometimes they come in here frozen. So I just figured, well, it's too expensive anyway. I'll just eat something else. Yeah. But maybe I'll take Dazzle to Texas Roadhouse. I wonder, do they do the peanuts thing? You know, that's one thing I remember about the Texas Roadhouse, where you crack the peanuts, the dried peanuts, and you just throw your shells everywhere. You know, that's what I remember, Texas Roadhouse. Do they do that here, Liz? Good day, there's Fortune, my brother in Bacoor in Cavite. He shared a video with me, a YouTube video, I guess C5. In Manila, Metro Manila, they have these highways, toll highways like C1, C2, and I guess now C5 is completed. Cuts the travel if you're and you actually ride. Watch the video. It said it cuts the travel to 15 minutes instead of 2 hours. Headed to like the Cavite area. So man, that's awesome. That's awesome, man. And Fortune was telling me you can get a good view of the runway, the airport, while you're driving on the highway. So C5 is now completed. And when I was watching the video, it says they're not charging toll yet. But of course, they'll start charging toll. So if you want to ride the C5, it's actually free for now. Credit card is good for just buying groceries, fuel, or emergencies. Yeah, I gave up on credit cards, Renz. I do not own an American credit card anymore. I had one Filipino credit card at one time. I strictly have ATM and debit card now. I don't do credit cards anymore because I'm just afraid that somebody will get your credit card and then start charging. It's not easy here. It's not, in the US, if somebody uses your credit card, one call, they can block everything and you're not liable. Here in the Philippines, if you experience a credit, somebody using your credit card here, it's going to be a big pain to fix it. You know, it's not like one call and you're good. It's not like that here in the Philippines. So just a warning, just a warning. If you experience, you get a Filipino credit card and there's trouble, somebody charges you on your card, it's a big hassle for you to like, you're going to end up calling the company, calling the credit card company over and over. And then when you call them, they don't fix it. You got to call again. You know, it's like a nightmare. So I just gave up on credit cards. I don't need them. For me, cash, you know, ATM, Gcash, to me, that's the way to go. You know, it's like that. I don't need the points and all that. You know, I don't travel anywhere on aircraft. You know, I don't need the mileage points and all that. You know, it's like, to me, it's not worth it. The risk of getting your number stolen and your credit card being used by somebody else, it's just high. It's just high here. Good AM, Captain Ron, JP, Daniel, Derek. Ooh, that's a lot of names. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining the live stream. I haven't even hit my topic, and I got so many topics to share to you guys. Let me see how far I've gone here on the comments, and then maybe I'll start on my. I got some good topics too, man. Rising cost fuel, people. Fortunately, I'm just gonna do this real quick. That way I can go to my topic. Brian says 6072 now. Elna and I appreciate recommendation. Backyard grill, right? Backyard in Calibo, man. Awesome food, man. Philippine peso sunk, lowest in history. Lowell, Goldfinger, ordering meds. India, very cheap. Okay, rands. I'm just kind of scan through the comments. That way I can hit my topics. I got some good topics today, man. I use Vicks. It works best. Pink eye, eat your Vicks, all right? Cold medicine, yes, for Tesla in BGC. Thank you, Colonel. Deleuze, use the sinus rinse neti pot but 3 times a day. Works great. I think Captain Ron, Michael, the Duke of Duma had mentioned that to me because I was suffering a little bit from that sinus when I had the super flu. Let me do some research on that too. Neti pot bottle. If you have a bad cough, Vicks rub sounds crazy, but it works. I know, man. You know, yeah, Dazzle's done that. She's put Vicks on my feet and put socks. You know, I don't know. It doesn't make sense, right? To put, you know, like if I have a cough fever, she'll put like Vicks on my feet, bottom of my feet, and she'll put socks on. And for some reason, it helps me. Maybe it's just my brain telling me it helps me. But hey, if it ain't broke, why change it? C5 from Quezon City to Taguig, free road. Then they built a toll highway called C5 Link C5 to Cavitex. All right, thank you for the explanation. I don't drive in Manila, so I would never drive in Manila. I'm not brave enough to drive in Manila. Even when we went to Batangas, when we took our car, I took the South Expressway, the over thing, I don't know what, Skyway or whatever, and then the north. I avoided Manila, but I was on the highway. I wasn't gonna exit. I wasn't gonna exit in Manila, man. So from Taguig, you will end in Cavite, coastal to Bacoor. I'm sure it just saves you on your travel time. Saves you on travel time. No traffic. The more things they build around Cavite, the more it floods. Oh, that's unfortunately that happens, Brian. I'm going to try Australian imported steak soon. No eat peanuts on the floor. No peanuts. All right. I was thinking, in the U.S. I remember Texas Roadhouse. You just you crack peanuts and just throw it on the floor. That was a thing. They really tried to play the part. Start amazing. Cowboy hats, all right. The cowboy hats, that's awesome. I don't see many cowboy hats here in the Philippines, and that's awesome. Dazzle will have fun with that. She'll want to have a picture taken with a cowboy hat. Parallel to EDSA, So alternate, also quick Makati, BGC, people in Parañaque and Cavite. Thank you so much, Fortune. Thank you for explaining the C5, C5. But looks like it's going to be a handy or a great highway, C5 to use to travel in Metro Manila. Lowell can do generic instead of branded. Barrio Barreto was a fun place, especially, yeah. I went there to Barrio Barreto a few years ago. It's not the same. The last time I went, they still have the Arizona Hotel right there on the beach. Of course, it's not like it used to be when the Navy base was active, but it was pretty. You still see a lot of military expats there. It's still a hangout for a lot of military expats. Lots of cool bars, restaurants. Yep. Baloy Beach. Captain Ron, yes, Fortune. How many days till vacation? Good AM, Michael M. Eastwood was my first big development by Mega World. Now they are a giant. JP, get a neti pot before you get sick so you don't have to. All right, I'll have to, thank you. I'll message you afterwards. JP, maybe you can explain it to me. Thank you for that, JP. I'll message you after the live stream. Merle Winkle. Yes, Texas Roadhouse still give peanuts and bread. I even asked for more bring home. The workers cowboy dance. Oh, which is fun. All right, I got to the bottom. Okay, today's my last day of work. All right, enjoy your vacation. Enjoy your vacation, Fortune, for sure. Going to Colonel's Place, San Juan in Batangas. All right, have fun. You deserve the break, man, Fortune. Said hi, Katie. Days before the BBN opened, the new before Alabang or Makati exit, which is a lot of traffic. Yeah. I'm sure it will decongest a little bit, right, with the new C5, I'm sure. Anything to help the traffic in Metro Manila, because traffic is insane in Metro Manila. I remember All Hands Beach just past QB. Yeah, I've been to All Hands Beach too. Actually, I stayed at QB Point during the evacuation, and I stayed at the Kwanzaa huts, the Marine Barracks. That's where I was housed in Subic during the big evacuation for Mount Pinatubo. So I got to see QB Point at that time. My first trip ever, Philippines, just a few months ago. I wanted to back this year. I feel the plane tickets won't be worth it by the end of the year. Okay. A new exit. All right. I got to the bottom of the comments. Let me hit my topics, man. I got some good topics. First topic I have, this one. You know how people always, I've mentioned, like nothing against Mindanao. The United States Embassy here in the Philippines always have a travel warning to Americans about Mindanao. Yeah, that's like forever. It's not going to warning Americans traveling. But I do know many people live in Mindanao. Many people swear by Davao, CDO, in certain areas in Mindanao. But unfortunately, things happen in Mindanao. I've never been to Mindanao. No plans of ever traveling to Mindanao. And again, a news from Mindanao. Five police got killed on an ambush. I mean, these are police in patrol cars, got ambushed in Maguindanao del Sur. 5 police died, 3 got injured. The police, Bangsamoro Autonomous Region, strongly condemns the ambush. March 28, Barangay Mother Poblacion, Maguindanao del Sur, which resulted in the deaths of 5 personnel police, and 3 others injured. Things like that just don't happen here in Visayas. I've been here now 15 years. I've never seen anything like that. Like the patrol police, I can't imagine ever that happening here in Calibo or in Panay Island, where a police vehicle with police in it being ambushed by somebody. That just doesn't happen I just don't see that here in Visayas. Unfortunately, those kind of things happen in Mindanao. That's why, maybe it's unfair to call Mindanao, because I do know many people retire, many people choose Mindanao. But to me, for my own safety, my own choice, not a place I want to like visit, or even, definitely not stay. Maybe visit, maybe Davao, maybe visit Davao, but not, and that wasn't the only time it happened. I'm gonna read you this story. They had a second attack. So that was March 28th, and then they had a second attack. That was the weekend, and then a second ambush, another ambush. So this Monday morning, another ambush, same area, Maguindanao del Sur, and no deaths this time, but the driver was seriously injured. And from the article that I was reading, this is like the third ambush in a week of police in that area. So I don't know what's going on. Why are they ambushing the police? But for me, that's scary stuff. It's like police to me is almost kind of like sacred, right? They're the ones here to protect us, and they're the ones being attacked. So that to me, not good. Not good to be a police in Mindanao. Okay, the next article, we were talking about Subic. And I saw this, I picked out this article, formerly the largest United States military base overseas. That used to be Subic Naval Base. Derek was assigned there during the 80s. It was the largest United States Navy military base, Subic Naval Base. And basically, this article, it starts out at that title. It's kind of deceiving, but it says, U.S. returns to Subic Bay. So a lot of people sometimes take that, the U.S. Navy is back. The U.S. Navy is back. It's not. The U.S. military is never going to have another military base here like it was back in the 80s. But they are allowed because of the EDCA, because of the joint agreement with the Filipino government, Filipino military. They're allowed to stay at the Filipino bases, and that's what Subic is. It's a Philippine base. They're allowed to stay there. The shift now for the United States military is not to open military bases anywhere in the world. If anything, they're shifting out of that because we're getting flat for American bases on foreign land. Most foreign lands, they don't want military bases anymore, So the shift in Subic is the Philippine government is allowing use of the Subic, the old U.S. naval base. They're allowing use of the military base. And to me, that makes more sense. It makes more sense because we're able to store things, occupy big warehouses inside the old Navy base, and we're building structures there. Companies from America, contractors are going in there, ammunition, that's going to be one of the things. So the United States is reestablishing their presence in Subic area, Subic Naval Base, but it's not turning into a United States military. People get, some of my Facebook groups, they're like, are they opening a BX now? Are they opening a commissary? I'm like, dude, they're not going to open a commissary or it's still a Filipino base. They're just allowing Americans to use the military base. All right, let me see here. Let me make sure. Juan John. Mindanao was the greatest fun I've ever had there. Beautiful place, but I knew quite a few of the locals personally and always spent time with northern Mindanao from Butuan and Cebu. Oh yeah, I've seen videos. Mindanao, amazing, beautiful, green, nice beaches like anywhere else in the Philippines. But unfortunately, things seem to happen. Like police being ambushed, 5 police dead. It's like, I do not want to be living near areas like that, right? Just me. Yeah, just for my own safety. I think there's a lot more safer place, in my opinion. Hey, brother, Vegas Will, hello. Long time no see on the live chat. Thank you for joining the live chat. Good AM, Vegas Will. That's the southwest part. JJC, Northwest, Northeast Mindanao are okay. Oh yeah, there. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm not saying Mindanao is all dangerous. I'm not saying that. I know Davao is probably one of the safer places in the country, but to me, you're just around the area, man. You're still in the same. You're still on the same island. You know, it's like there's still bad people. There just seem to be more bad people on that island. For AFE officers, especially from lieutenant to captain, that's where they earn their stripes. From platoon leader, definitely, right? If you want to get promoted in the military or the police in the Philippines, get stationed in Mindanao and you'll get promoted fast. I've seen where DOD awarded contracts. Yeah, Philip, that's been happening, Derek, for the past year or two. I mean, runways, the different Philippine Air Force bases, America's putting millions, $50 million, $70 million on upgrading runways. And Subic is going to be one of those places, the old Navy base. Because you know how big that place is, right, Derek? There's just a lot of area to build like a storage warehouse. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're storing a lot of military equipment there, and now it's going to be the main hub of ammunition here in the Philippines. It just makes sense for the U.S. military to do that. Not to get into like having a United States military base that, there's always, as far as like sovereignty, the Filipino sovereignty, I think this is the ideal situation. Basically, the Filipino government is allowing Americans to build structures that still belongs to the Philippines, still belongs to the Philippine military. If relationships get sour, if for some reason 2-3 years from now the relationship between America and Philippines sour, Philippines has we're booting you out. Things aren't working out. It's kind of like a boyfriend girlfriend. Hey, things aren't working out. This is my house. You need to move out. That kind of situation. True fortune. People mention Mindanao, which guesses. Oh yeah, I'm one of them. I have I'm not gonna lie, I have a stigma about Mindanao because ever since I was a little kid here in the Philippines, when Mindanao gets mentioned, when I was a little kid back in the 70s even, and now even, when Mindanao gets mentioned, it's always about, unfortunately, killings, bombings, kind of thing. Things that, it happens lesser in Luzon and Visayas. You got the Abu Sayyaf, you got Islam terrorist groups. We just don't have that here in Visayas, is all I'm saying. The stigma is never going to go away from Mindanao. There's so many beautiful islands to visit, like even for Dazzle. I know she has no interest in going to Mindanao. Daniel, this AM I was reading PH News, officer was killed and 2 soldiers injured in South Philippines. Eastern Mindanao, the Davao area also say, I believe it. I believe Davao area is safe. That's where, they pride themselves, right? To be safest city, things like that there. Good AM, PBT. Fortune, going to do any fishing? Hope they allow USA to build PX. LOL, I don't think that's gonna happen, Daniel. It's never gonna be like a United States military base in the Philippines. I don't think that's ever gonna happen now. With the geopolitics now, they're being allowed to be here in the Philippines. There's active duty military all over the Philippines right now. All the services are represented in the Philippines right now. But you never know the geopolitics here in the Philippines. Before President Marcos, the previous administration was pro-China. Now, the current administration is more pro-American. You don't know what's going to happen in 2028 when the elections here happen in the Philippines. The Philippines might pivot again to China. So that's why I don't ever see United States military bases again here in the Philippines. because that option of pivoting to another country, another, because things are changing. Things are constantly changing in the world. Enemies before in the world now are allies, right? Japan. They for Balikbayan this coming year in April. Japan is sending 1,000 Japanese military in the Philippines to join in joint exercises here in the Philippines. If you told me that, especially after World War II, all the atrocities that the Japanese did here in the Philippines, the Bataan Death March, they were beheading people here, killing people left and right. We lost, thousands, if not millions of Filipinos from the Japanese occupation here. And now they're coming here with their military. Now they're shoulder to shoulder, Balikbayan with like Filipino shoulder. Gonna do the exercise in order to protect the Philippines from a Chinese invasion of Taiwan. So it's just amazing, right? These are like, if my grandfather will be rolling over his grave if I told him that Japanese now are allies with the Philippines. He fought, my grandfather, my great grandfather, they fought the Japanese in World War II. So, it's just amazing how, former enemies, can now be allies. It's the world we live in. That can change. Like I said, in 2028, that there should be elections here in the Philippines. You never know. If we pivot back to support China. So everything's wide open. Everything is wide open. No, Captain Ron, but the place we are going to has a pool, beach, pier. Hey, there's Albatos, Lawrence. Hey, my brother in Parañaque. Good to see you, brother. Appreciate. Wish everyone a wonderful Holy Week, definitely. Have a wonderful week, Lawrence and family. We had such a great time with you guys in Boracay. Very memorable for Dazzle and I. Well, we're always going to be grateful, Lawrence. That was an amazing time. The Old Naval Magazine there. Oh, there's like a bug. There's a bug. Other difficult areas in Mindanao, Basilan, Sulu, because they are islands. Extremists can strike and run away in boats. What's up, Gino? Hey, Gavin. All right, Gavin B. in Brisbane, right? Brisbane, Australia. Haven't seen you in a while, Gavin B. Thank you so much for joining the live stream this Holy Week. Happy Holy Week, definitely. We have different activities here in Numancia for Holy Week. I remember 80s, 2 airmen. Yep, I was there. I was stationed at Clark, man. They ended up locking us down inside the military. We couldn't leave the base, man, for like 2 weeks. And then after that, we had curfew for the longest time because those 2 airmen, they were TDY, temporary duty from Korea. They were just hanging out at the wrong place at the wrong time in Angeles City, and they got gunned down. Good AM, Lawrence. He will benefit. Completion tollway. All right. Parañaque, yeah, Parañaque. Gino, you described it perfectly. The U.S. has access to military bases in the Philippines through the EDCA, Enhanced Defense. Yep, that's all it is. Right now, there's an agreement. They can use the Philippine military bases, but I'm sure there's an out clause. If anytime something pivots in the world, something happens, the Philippines can say, hey, we're ending this agreement. It's not working out. It's kind of like a marriage. It's an agreement. Hey, it's not working out. I'm gonna have to divorce you. The Philippines has that option. All right, Subic, and like I said, that was the article regarding Subic. Let me see. Yep. So I always try to delete that once I hit the articles already. That way, I don't discuss it anymore. Oh, this one caught my eye also. In Metro Manila, there's a surge in tuberculosis cases. So if you're in Metro Manila or heading to Metro Manila, watch out for tuberculosis. It says here, tuberculosis cases surging in Metro Manila, with over 100,001 cases recorded as far as of February 16, 2026. That's a lot of cases. That's a lot of cases, man. TB is airborne, meaning it spreads through tiny droplets with infected people coughing. That's why even now, man, I wear masks when I go out, especially at crowded places. And I always like, man, it's so unfortunate, why, we should have learned from COVID, right? People don't wear masks and the people be coughing. And I'm like looking like, dude, man, where's your mask? If you got a cold, you got a cough, you got to wear a mask, and don't be spreading the germs. For us, like me, I'm immunocompromised, man. I get a cold and I'm sick for a month. Unfortunately, So watch out if you're in the Metro Manila. It says this first 6 weeks of 2026, over 100,000 cases in the Metro Manila area. Man, that's like epidemic proportions there already, man. So stay away from crowded. Stay away from crowd. Wear a mask, double mask. Definitely stay away from people coughing, man. TB is curable. A good thing is curable. It's not an incurable disease. Standard treatment lasts 4 to 6 months. You have to take TB medicine for like 4 to 6 months. And critical to continue your medicine. A lot of people don't, kind of like antibiotics. People will take it, they start feeling better, and they don't finish it. You got to finish your medicine. Prevention tips, simple prevention tip: wear a mask, crowded indoor spaces. Cover your mouth if you're coughing. That's like being polite. If you have a cough, I would just stay home. Don't be spreading the germs. Seek early testing if symptomatic. If you start feeling symptoms, easy to get tested for. And I did do the dollar already, 60.69 for the dollar. Holy Week is this week. Most of your places of business, government especially, by Holy Thursday, Good Friday, Thursday, Friday this week are be closed this week. So almost expect everything to be closed towards the end of this week. How has the surging fuel price affected your community, brother? It hasn't really affected us. Like for me, the main effect is I'm not driving my car. I'm like, I put a lot of fuel. My car is full tank, but we just don't drive it. It's like we lessen our travel. Not gonna travel this summer for sure. I have our tricycle, and now we have a motorbike too. So I'm riding the motorbike more and the tricycle more, just to save some fuel. But as far as prices of goods and anything, I haven't really even, a slight increase. Like my water delivery person used to be 25 pesos per 5-gallon container. Now it's 30. So I'm sure different items, maybe even in the public market, but not a big surge in prices. The people here in the provinces, and that's why I was talking about it the other day, we're more immune to things like price surges than the people in the city. A lot of our products here in Aklan province, in Numancia, Calibo, a lot of the products we buy are locally sourced. Our rice comes from Aklan, our fruits, vegetables, meat products, seafood, all of it is locally sourced. So it's gonna affect us less. Now, if you live in a city like Metro Manila, your stuff is not gonna come from Metro Manila. I've yet to see a rice field in Metro Manila, or a piggery, or a chicken farm. You just don't see that stuff in Metro Manila. It's a concrete jungle. So everything's gotta be shipped to Manila. So the cost of fuel, the cost of transporting it there. So you would see a quicker high prices going up in Manila for sure. Bill, hey, Bill Meyer, prayers, Bill. Good morning, Bill Myers. Good morning, AM Bill Ford. Dodgers at home. They play the Cleveland Star. All right, I'm gonna be watching, Derek. Oh, you know me, man. I'm a diehard Dodger fan. 3-0, baby. 3-0. Back to back. 3 in a row wins coming from behind too. Coming from behind, man. So awesome. So awesome to be a Dodger fan right now. There are 9 locations. Yes, yes. Correct, Dilo. Thank you for listing out. You know, I don't have that in my memory bank. I do know they have 9 Philippine military bases. There are, and there's some that's on the down low. there's places in the Philippines that also they allow the Americans to use on the down low. But announced there's like 9 places. 9 places. My water bill is still 30 pesos. Oh, nice. So now your water is the same price as I am. I paid 30 yesterday, JP. So Calibo and Numancia has the same price now. Derek, do you still have USA cell phone? No, one time when I moved here in 2011, Derek, I had Magic Jack. I brought Magic because I actually had a phone back then in 2011. I had a phone, and my phone used to attach to my laptop, and it's an actual phone, like with and I go online and I can call my relatives, my friends in the United States on Magic Jack. I think I kept it for like a year or two, and then I didn't renew it because I wasn't really using it as much because Messenger came and then FaceTime came, so I just start using that. So I don't have any U.S. phone number. I don't have any U.S. phone number. I don't have any U.S. Credit card. I have my U.S. bank account because my military pension goes to my bank account. And also, when I file my claims to TRICARE, my direct deposit from TRICARE, my reimbursements for my medical treatments, it goes straight to my bank in the United States. Was Mindanao the place with the guy? Yes, same place, Kateron. The guy in the flip-flops that had the grenade launcher. He comes out of the van in flip-flops and he aimed his grenade launcher. Stuff like that, unfortunately. It's the same place where that American that killed about a year or so ago, like Elliot something. Stuff like that unfortunately happens a lot in Mindanao. That doesn't happen here in Visayas. Same thing. I've never heard of an ambush of like 5. Imagine this, man. It's a police vehicle, marked police. There's police in there with like guns, and they got ambushed. I just don't hear that stuff here happening here in Visayas. Fortune, yes, absolutely. Locally sourced products won't necessarily be affected. And for us, Dilo, for us here in the province, in Numancia, in Calibo, we have enough things to do here. Like it's summer vacation for Liana. We can go to the beach. We have our plaza. There's resorts here in Calibo. There's with swimming pool, water slides. So there's enough for us to do. We don't have to travel. I mean, Boracay is not too far. I'm only an hour and 15-minute drive to Caticlan and a 15. So we might still do Boracay towards maybe end of April. We'll just see how it goes. But right now I'm just playing it safe and not spending money because you just never know what will happen next. And then it costs money to drive right now. Costs money. Derek, I remember back in the day, phone cards were popular. Yeah, I remember phone cards. Now, not so much with Messenger. Yeah, like that's why I got rid of my Magic Jack because I wasn't using it anymore. The Messenger FaceTime became popular. So I was like, what am I paying this? I think it was only like $40 a year. I think it was like some $50 maybe a year for Magic Jack, but I just didn't renew it after it expired. What you think about Manila? I read on a lot of ambushed tourists in Manila being robbed and shot. I don't know about being robbed and shot, but in Metro Manila, it's just to me, I grew up in Manila. My first 12 years of my life, I grew up in Metro Manila. For me, it's not a good retirement destination just because you got to deal with traffic. You got to deal with pollution. noise pollution, air pollution. I mean, they have the best hospitals. If you got medical issues, Manila's a good place for you. A lot of people like BGC. They call it the bubble because it's like being in Los Angeles. It's like being in the United States, living in BGC. The quality of life in BGC is good. But to me, just the amount of people, millions of people in a small confined space, like I said, traffic. I like clean air. I like breathing clean air on my morning walk. That could be a struggle. They got smog. They got smog in Manila. If you got asthma or lung issues, Metro Manila probably is not a good place for you. Of course, higher crime. I don't know about being mugged or shot, but higher crime because you're in a big city. You're like in a city like New York City. It'd be the same like if you're in New York City, being mugged in New York City and being jacked or shot in New York City. It's the same. We just don't have that dynamic here in the province. I don't have to worry when I go out to my town, my little town of Numancia, or when I walk around Calibo. I'm not worried about getting shot or getting mugged, day or night. In Manila, yes, there's certain areas in Manila that you have to be aware of your surroundings in Manila. Is PLDT still? Yes, PLDT is still around. At one time, they allowed PLDT internet in our neighborhood, but they're gone now because I guess they weren't providing good service. I don't know. Now we're strictly Calibo cable, fiber optic internet here. At one time, they were offering PLDT internet, but I haven't seen it. Derek, yes, we have Queens and PLDT and Leyte. Oh, and Starlink Mini, yeah, Starlink. Yeah, there's an article too. They were talking about the fuel subsidy. Tricycle drivers, bus drivers, jeepney drivers. Because of what happened here is like the price of gasoline ballooned, especially diesel. It doubled in price. Basically, diesel was like 70. Per liter. Now it's over 140 per liter on diesel, and that's what buses and jeepneys use here. The drivers were supposed to get subsidies because they were instructed by the government not to raise their prices for public transportation. But I saw this one article, Iloilo City. Like I always tell people, Iloilo City in the Philippines is just the best city in the Philippines. Their government is just so quick to respond. I saw this article. The government of Iloilo City, over 2,000 tricycle drivers received 5,000 pesos. They're handing out pesos to tricycle drivers in Iloilo City, jeepney drivers in Iloilo City. They're quick to react. They're quick to support. The problem with a lot of other places in the Philippines, the ayuda is what it's called here in the Philippines. Ayuda is like free money. It's government money that to assist people, like a grant, affected by the oil crisis or whatever. Similar to welfare in the Philippines. They got 4Ps here. They call it 4Ps. The government hands out money to people here during crisis like this. The problem with other cities and other areas in the Philippines, it takes a long time for the money to get to the people. And then they hassle the people with you gotta show 2 IDs, national IDs. You gotta fill out this form. You gotta come back for your money. They make it so hard that the lines are football fields, long lines to get the ayuda. And people will, unfortunately, because of the struggles of money, people will line up for hours just to get their ayuda, their grant from the government. But Iloilo City, man, they're fast to give the money to the people. It's like... Does La Casa have fiber optics? Yes, they do. Mel, he's from Atlanta. Daniel, I would recommend if you move into La Casa Española, they do provide free internet, but you know how it is, Daniel, with free Wi-Fi, shared Wi-Fi. The more people use it, the slower you go. So Mel, he lives in La Casa Española. He's from Atlanta. He's a computer programmer. He does work online. He got fiber optic through Calibo Cable. Now he has to pay for that extra. That's another $25 a month extra, but he gets excellent internet. Same internet that I have. Never knew that existed. Free government money, ayuda. It's people, man. When you mention ayuda or free money here in the province, in Aklan, anywhere in the Philippines, man, people come out in droves, man. The lines for the ayuda, man. I'm telling you, they're like the length of a football field to get that ayuda. People be like out in the sun with an umbrella, staying all day hours to get that money. Dilo, Gino, does the VA reimburse you for travel to your appointments? I do not use the VA, Dilo. I did not get a disability from my military career. I'm strictly using TRICARE here, but I have heard they do, if you're living somewhere and you have appointments at the VA that are service related, that's the only treatments you get from the VA here. They do have that mileage that I've seen that people file with the VA. Now, I don't know as far as after they file or how much they get, but that is available here. The VA here in the Philippines is just a clinic. There's no VA hospitals in the Philippines. The VA here strictly treats service related conditions, so if you have a disability that's covered by your VA, you'll and they don't even really treat you at the VA clinic, because again, it's such a clinic. There's only usually 1 or 2 doctors at the clinic. They'll refer you to hospitals and clinics in Manila. We have 3 riding in tandem killings in Rojas City last 18 months. 1 at City Hardware, 7-Eleven, Rose. Not as safe as you say. Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm not in Rojas City. I don't. Like I said, where I live, I don't have any. I don't hear of riding in tandem here. But I do know it happens all across the Philippines, right? Riding in tandem. That the gentleman, what he's talking about is people riding on a motorbike. They put a helmet. Both passenger and back riders got a helmet, and they just pull up to people and shoot people. That usually happens here. Those killings usually happens here in the Philippines. Anywhere you are in the Philippines, it happens because of elections. A lot of times it's either politically motivated or it's gang related territory of drugs. It's the same dynamic in the U.S., right? But here, because we don't have drive-bys, because not many people got cars, it's riding in tandem. I'm sure things happen here, like people hire people to kill people. I mean, unfortunately, that's pretty much anywhere in the world that you go. So I'm just saying, what's your name? Thomas? I just do not see like a police vehicle with 5 people in it getting ambushed. But people in police uniform driving their patrol vehicle getting ambushed. I do not see. But tell me if that's happened in Rojas City. Let me know if you've heard of an ambush of 5 police officers in Rojas City. To me, I've made videos before regarding safety here in the Philippines. Is it safe in the Philippines? I get that question all the time. I used to teach when I was in the military, my last job in the military, I used to teach a class in force protection. You just have to be aware of your surroundings. Anywhere you go in the world. This is the world we live in now. It's like, it don't matter where you are. You could be in the United States, you can go to the Philippines, you can be a target of a crime if you make yourself a target, right? Like me, if I'm out there drinking at night, staying out till midnight, getting drunk in a bar, coming out of the bar, there's a good chance that I might get jacked. Anywhere you are in the Philippines, because you're not aware of your surroundings. You got to put yourself in a bad situation a lot of times. I don't see a lot of even riding in tandem happening here, just because most of that, like I said, is related a lot of times to political people here. That's what I've seen anyway. Correct me if I'm wrong. You will see a lot more of riding in tandem, people getting assassinated here during election time. Because election here, elections are so important here for politicians, a lot of times because of the money it brings to the politicians here. Daniel, I have been using the free Wi-Fi and it's been fine for me. I just have to reset the router once in a while after a power surge. All right, thank you, JP. Thank you for letting Daniel know. And like for me, like JP is a perfect example. He lives in Calibo. JP walks all over Calibo all the time. He rides on his motorbike. And JP can tell you, he has not felt unsafe living in Calibo. Derek, if you're working online in the Philippines, you need good internet and a Blue Yeti. Definitely, right? The Blue Yeti like me. I got my internet connected to my Blue Yeti right now. So in case of a power outage, we are still good. We are still good. I don't lose you guys because I have a Blue Yeti power stations. Belus, elections, free everything. I know, right? Here in the Philippines, during elections, you get a lot of free stuff. Free rice, free dressed chicken, canned goods. It's almost like ayuda. It's ayuda from the political campaign. You get baskets, gift baskets, money. Money. It's like you get money. See, the people that's been here understand that. It's like, Colonel, well, testing. The guava flavor actually pretty good. Oh, wow. Bundaberg guava flavor. All right. I'll message me that, Colonel, because I haven't heard that before. That's a new item for me, Colonel. No transportation reimbursement overseas for VA. Oh, thank you, Colonel, for answering that. Because I have seen people filing, I've seen on groups, but thank you for letting him know that no reimbursement for VA appointments. You and Dazzle should get a tandem bike. I don't see many of them. Derek, I would buy it. We have a folding bike, but I would buy a riding and tandem bike if they had. I don't see many of them here in the Philippines. Good morning, Tom. JP, the hats are ready. All right, awesome, man. See, look at JP. He will be walking down to get the hats. JP's walking all over Calibo. He doesn't feel unsafe walking around Calibo. 10,000, 20,000 pesos for hire. Ambush on 5 policemen, Maguindanao. Wow, that's pretty, that's not that much. 22, that's not that much money. VA provides reimbursement to 100% disabled veterans in the Philippines for service through the foreign medical program. Okay, like I said, I don't use the VA, so you guys know more about it, Dilo, Colonel. You guys, I strictly use my TRICARE. And you asked me about TRICARE, I can answer you everything about TRICARE. But TRICARE, basically, the way it works here in the Philippines, I pay a fee for Dazzle and I. She's also eligible for TRICARE medical insurance from the United States. About $400 a year is our premium. About $30, about $30 a month is our premium, and TRICARE pays for 75% of my medical care. I have to pay 25% once I meet the deductible. There's $150 deductible per year. So the minute I spend $150 on medical care for 2026, my TRICARE kicks in. You behaving, Tommy, the Colonel. Colonel's always behaving. Colonel's always behaving. All right, Derek. Cubs leading Los Angels. Ooh, man, they're getting creamed. They're getting creamed. JP, does Gino get a hat? I think so. I think I got a hat. I know JP got my wife Dazzle a specific hat. JP calls my wife Dazzle the sheriff of the Panay Posse. So Dazzle's hat had sheriff on it. I saw it already. The picture anyway. JP had sent me the picture. Bro, it's 80 bucks in Leyte. Is that crazy? Bottom line, stay neutral. Yeah, right? For me, it's safe in the Philippines. Like anywhere else in the world, don't put yourself in a bad situation. Be aware of your surroundings. Most of the time, just listen to your Filipina. Your Filipina will keep you safe here. It's like if you're an expat, you're a foreigner, your Filipina will take care of you. Will know where, yeah, she will not put you in a situation where you're, just listen to your Filipina and you will be good. Right, Belus? You gotta listen to the wife, man. Listen to your wife. Now, we're doing this morning, Colonel. They need RoboCop in Mindanao. They need RoboCop. Hello, Gino. Ronnie. Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you, Ronnie. Remain an asset. And yes, like Belus. Belus is a perfect example. He's a farmer. He's got a farm in Leyte. He employs the locals. Yeah, he harvests rice and he sells rice at a lower price to the locals. So he's an asset to the community. He does a lot for the community. Those people are gonna protect Belus because, man, they'll call him, hey boss, you're the boss. You're like, they gotta protect him because he's employing people, helping them in time of need. When there's a typhoon, Belus opens his house to people, serves meals. He's got internet. If you're an asset to the people around you, trust me, Filipinos are like one of the best people in the world. They will, and that was going to be my topic today. Even though I'm running out of time, I want to talk about it really quick. I'm going to hit my topic. My topic today, I'm gonna hit it real quick. Is basically I was going to talk about the Filipino people, and the reason this topic came to my head on the video, my last video. I says foreigners not allowed to buy land. This gentleman, Bobby Lesna, he made a comment. He says because I had mentioned on that short video, I mentioned that if the Philippine people allowed foreigners to buy land here, the Philippines will be Chinese owned by now. The Chinese would have bought everything here in the Philippines. I do not even doubt that. So he made a comment. He said, China are hardworking people, resilient, and that's why they can afford. It's not their fault. And I'm not saying it's their fault, right? They got the money. They will buy us off here. But Filipinos get envious. I don't know about what Filipino are envious about China, but I know I'm not. With them, they squander their wages in less than a day with party and booze and take a leave for 2 days and do over again. I know there's some Filipinos maybe that are like that. I mean, I think anywhere in the world, right? US, China, it doesn't matter. There's people that are not productive, but that to me is not a good description of a Filipino. That's why I thought I defend the Filipino, because I'm Filipino, man. I'm Filipino, I'm American, it's like but he's entitled to his opinion. I replied back to him and I told him that Filipinos are hard workers. So many sacrifice their lives, right? Overseas Filipino workers work abroad, work in the Middle East. They're getting bombed right now, and these Filipinos are working there to provide for their family. So you can't tell me they're lazy. You can't tell me a Filipino is lazy. You're living in Israel right now, and you're getting bombed, and you're still taking care of your patient because you need the money to send your family. So don't tell me that Filipinos are lazy. And then he says, they overwhelm the entire planet in every corner. Why is that? And then he mentioned corruption to the core. And I replied back to him, corruption in government, it happens everywhere in the world. It doesn't matter, Philippines, US, China, Canada, you name me a country that doesn't have corruption in government. So to me, no value. I'm pretty sure this guy's, I'm pretty sure he got jaded by Filipinos. He probably got a Filipina that he had a bad relationship with a Filipina. Now he's a hater of Filipinos. I mean, if anything, the OFWs, they're a benefit around the world. It's like the Philippines provide most nurses for many countries. We export nurses, engineers, domestic helpers, caregivers. We travel all over the world, and people around the world welcome Filipinos because they know Filipinos are very caring. They're English speaking, and not only they are caring, it's like hardworking and trustworthy. That's my reply to him. That's my reply to him. And Filipino people, like I even mentioned to him, I would still rather be a Filipino living in the Philippines than being a Chinese person living in China. I don't think for many Filipinos, we're happier here in the Philippines. We might have less. Filipinos might have less, but Filipino, what they have here in the Philippines is family. Most Filipinos are big families. We rally together. We support each other through good times and bad times. Filipinos love having kids. Where Filipinos are growing, there's like more Filipinos are born every day. I know China, I know they got that one kid policy or something like that. I don't know, but they got issues, right? There's more democracy here in the Philippines. Filipinos are you're able to speak your mind. In China, I don't think you don't say anything bad about Chinese government. You might disappear. You might disappear in China. Filipinos don't need a lot of money to have fun. Most people here see that. Filipinos are always smiling. It could be the farmer that's been toiling in the farm for 8-9 hours, but if you say hello to them, they'll wave at you and smile at you. Been baking in the sun for 8-9 hours, but you can still see smile on their face. They're still looking forward to getting off work and spending time with their family, hanging out with their friends. Filipinos are some of the most polite people in the world, and I've said this many times on my channel, my live streams. Name me a country in the world that's more welcoming to Americans. Name me a country that's more welcoming to Americans than the Philippines. Americans come here, Filipinos open arms. Come to our country, handle the tourist visa. You can be a tourist here for 3 years. You can. They're just not even places like traditionally people go to Mexico. Some people go to Canada. I don't think we're that welcome there anymore as much as Americans before, right? But here in the Philippines, people are respectful of Americans. They love Americans here. They love Kano. They love Kano here, man. Robert, aloha. Hey, Robert, aloha. Thank you. Gino, my daughter and I are watching. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yep, your people you feed have your back, right, Deluz? 100%. Laugh my ass off. Bro, they call me boss. I told you. And I've never heard that. I just know they call you boss. Hey, boss. Because I sometimes get called boss here. Because when I hire some of the people here to do something in my house, they call me boss. Hey, boss. Hey, boss. It's or sir, boss. They treat you with respect, man. They treat you with respect. I love my circle in my valley. Yeah, man. You got a good life there, Belush. You got people caring for you and that love you, that genuinely love you, man. That's a blessing. That's a blessing when you're surrounded by people that love you. A lot of work in the mountains with no equipment besides oxygen and stuff like that. Vilo, I agree with that law that foreigners cannot buy. Oh yeah, to me it makes sense because, like I said, if the Philippine government allowed foreigners to buy land in the Philippines, we will be owned by China. China will buy so much of our land here, and no telling what they would do with our land here. It's like the land in the Philippines should belong to the Filipino people. It's their land. It's this is where they're born. It's their land. So to me, it doesn't make sense. Even in America, we're allowing Chinese to buy land in America. They're buying land right next to our military bases in the United States. I don't know what law or who allowed that to happen. They're like our enemy in war. They're our enemy in there are second Cold War. China and the United States, they're in a Cold War right now. People need to understand that, and we're allowing them to buy land right next to our military bases. To me, that's insane, man. That's insane. All right, I hit that topic real quick because I'm at the 2 hour mark. I always try to limit it at 2 hours. I know people are busy. I know people have other things to do, but I appreciate everybody's time this morning. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining the live stream. You're absolutely right, Gino. Corruption, yeah. You cannot tell me about corruption, how corrupt the Philippine government is, right? You hear that corruption here is, but there's not a place in the world where you can go where corruption doesn't exist. It's happening in the U.S., right? All the fraud that they're catching right now. In England, in any place in the world, you're gonna have corruption. People are tempted. Greed tempts people from stealing money from the people. God bless. All right, salute there, Belus. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. All right, take care, everyone. I appreciate everybody's time. Thank you so much for supporting our channel. Me and my family, we really appreciate everyone. Everyone, please stay blessed. Stay blessed.